All right. It's Mutt-Man. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Labor Day. I've had an exceptional Labor Day, just enjoying some time with my family. And I was sitting around thinking about our comic book, HIRO, HIRO, stands for Hardware Integrated Reanimation Ordnance. This was talked about in one of our live streams. You can check that video out for a little bit more detail. But I thought what I would do today is just show a few sketches, early sketches from my sketchbook after the idea was given to me by Dan, my partner. This is the very first sketch ever done, and like I said, this idea's been around for a little while. This is what Dan described to me about a zombie that was basically controlled by robotics, and how this had happened in a dream that he had. So you can see it's a little eerie. It's a little bit more like horror than science fiction. But from that sketch, come over here and check out the first character design I did for Dr. Leov Krupin. He's the main catalyst in this story. And you can see what I wrote here is a famous Russian scientist specializing in reanimation and robotics. He creates first repeatable reanimation process called neural bridging and creates an exo-robotic symbiotic reanimation machine. So very important. You can see some of the background stuff, early ideas about how that would actually work. A lot of fun just coming up with these characters, these ideas. This is my first sketch of HIRO. I've described this book recently as Frankenstein meets Wall-E, and I think that's a pretty good description, because the idea is that this little creature right here crawls up on your back and attaches to you after you have died and reanimates you. And you are reanimated for a specific period of time. Now this story is going to get into some weird stuff like memories and AI. You know, this little creature HIRO becomes self-aware at some point in time in this story. So that's going to be an interesting phenomenon for you to check out and to watch. But anyway, the design is that he crawls up, attaches, and reanimates the deceased warrior. And remember, again, if you've watched previous videos, you know this, but this character is designed to be a part of a story where the United States is at war with Russia. It's a world war that we are having a hard time winning. So biotechnology and robotics and AI and reanimation become a big part of the driving force to win this battle, to win this war. So those are the early designs for HIRO. And then here's Lieutenant Fine. He's one of my favorite characters. He's one of the villains. There's actually a few villains in this. He's a bad guy, and you'll have to watch to see what role he plays in the story. Here's a look at one of our main guys. His name is Boone. We went round and round about who Boone is and what he does. He is going to be a very important figure. He is like the driver / bodyguard for Dr. Krupin. Dr. Krupin hired him to help him, and Boone does some of the dirty work for Dr. Krupin, as you can see, but very important and necessary. You can see right here that I've been messing around with how this actually attaches to the body, how it looks on the human form. I've got some more work to do on that, but we're really prepping how this book's going to look and how successful it's going to be. Now check this out. This is one of the early, very early sketches that I did. You can see how it looks a lot different. I think it's a little goofy. There's like an antenna right there, but still fun. You know, the same premise is there. Just that early design that didn't quite work out. Let's see. Here's another early design. It's starting to get closer to what it should look like. You can see how it kept, am I dead? I'm dead, aren't I? Yes, says the AI. Okay, what's the mission? These soldiers know what they're getting into. They are putting their bodies in harm's way to defend the freedom of the United States and around the world. And they also understand that if their body should die, their body can be used and resurrected to gain advantage over the enemy, and they're willing to do that sacrifice. Here's a little bit of an interesting thing. This could be a little bit of a spoiler. You'll have to make your guesses, but we'll just move on. Here are some pages. You probably recognize this as the cover. I put this artwork up in a lot of places. Just like this action-packed cover reminds me of G.I. Joe a little bit. I really like G.I. Joe. Here's our inside page 1, and here's page 2. You guys have seen that. Now what I did is I got all of these images scanned in, did my blue lines over them. These are my early thumbnails, and what I found was that I was actually doing thumbnails. I mean, they're pretty fast thumbnails, but I was actually working those thumbnails out pretty high level before going to blue ink. So then what I started to do was become a lot more scratchy with my thumbnails just to get the action right, and then I would go in and get my blue lines right on Photoshop, and then go to inks, and that helped me get a lot faster. Working digitally like that was a lot easier. You know, you guys have seen these pages most likely if you've been following us at all. Ooh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. You haven't seen that page yet. And I've got some more sketches, you know, more thumbnails coming up. What we want to do is get that first 14, 15 page issue out, and then we want to start showing you some more stuff. Hope you enjoyed that little presentation of HIRO from the early beginnings. I mean, that was the catalyst for all this that's going on right now. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your Labor Day, and be sure to hit me up on Twitter at MJWilliams75. Hit up Dan Lucas, my partner, on Twitter. He's at Ride Die Repeat. He's a bike guy, so that's just like a trail bike kind of thing. Ride Die Repeat. And then follow this page, and we're going to keep putting out more and more stuff about this book. It's going to be very exciting to watch it going forward, and we really appreciate any support you guys can give. Comment below and ask us questions. I love talking to people about this book. Have a good one.